In today's episode of The Written Compass, we're going to talk all about trust. How does writing and trusting yourself go together? I'm so glad you asked. We're going to dive right in and get right to it, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Written Compass. Dr. Shana V here. I'm excited to be with you today. I'm going to talk about a topic today that comes up a lot. As you all know, I support people in going from idea to putting their words out into the world, leaving a legacy with their words. That often and most commonly looks like self-publishing their books. And one of the things that my team and I really focus on is, yes, we coach people and support people and read and offer revision and all of the kinds of things for their actual words on the screen and the page. But we also coach the writer just as much. And I would say that often becomes the most important element of someone really honing in and leaning into who they are as a writer, an author, how they want to show up and share their messages and their words. And this really showed up for us ultimately this week in our conversations as a team as we were supporting a new person and potentially coming to work with us. And the idea of trusting yourself showed up. And if you aren't following me yet over on Instagram, I want to make sure you do that at the Shana_V on Instagram. And I did a post this week and I kind of felt a little compassionate anger as I shared it. So I kind of want to dive into how trusting yourself connects to the process of writing, of getting your words down, of expressing yourself and the importance of it. And I'm going to focus a little bit, I'm going to get a little gendered here in this conversation, though I feel like at some point, all of us maybe have had this kind of distrust in ourselves. So my post started off this way. The first slide said, why can't we trust women to invest in themselves? And what I love about the work that we're doing, Synergy Wellness Group and Synergy Publishing Group, is we really do tend to attract a lot of women, female identifying humans, and they have the most amazing aspirations to share their story and publish their books. And there is nothing better than that moment when we are meeting someone new and we are sitting there and hearing what they're thinking and the whys behind their story and why they feel like it's so important and the encouragement they've had from other people who've been asking them to share their words. We love the moment when they finally say yes to their words, stepping in to receive support and honoring the book or the writing that has been tugging at them. And then here is where the interesting thing happens. So imagine this, you've found the support you've been hoping, wishing, praying for. You're like, I've got this tug to express myself in this way, to put these words out there, to write a book. And here we come, or here some entity comes that is saying, hey, we got you. Here's how we can support you. And it feels so aligned. And you verbally express and feel in your body this full whole body, hell yes. And this is often despite the fact that there may be a significant investment, despite the maybe little gremlin voice of fear that is showing up or you hear kind of in the background. And despite whether you've never done something like this for yourself before, we often work with people who have never invested their time, energy, resources in their true voice and story and experiences in this way. And it is amazing and magical. And then here's this interesting thing that happens, right? That trust voice that shows up, that trust decision that shows up, all of a sudden gets met with a couple of different things. And here's what we often see. They say, this is great. Here's when I'm going to sign up, or we might even go ahead and, take all of their payment information, get them all set up and rocking and rolling. And they go and share it with some people. And this is where we also coach them and just say, be mindful of who you share your next steps with, because not everyone, although they may be well-intentioned, not everyone understands what it takes to be successful or what it takes to step into alignment or to follow and trust yourself. And so here's what we often see. There might be a partner or spouse who will tell these women, no, we can't afford that. Family members suddenly need them to drop everything, travel to support them. There might be health issues that show up. We often, and I've experienced this whenever I've stepped up and in to a new level of support or investment, I might get sick or my kid might get sick. There might be something that breaks, like a car breaks down, you get a flat tire, the dishwasher goes out, or your kids need these really expensive new shoes for baseball or whatever it may be. And what's interesting is somehow money is found for all of these other things, right? But for some reason, you can't have, or you're hearing this voice of you can't have what you want. So it becomes this conundrum, right? And I will literally watch people shrink back, right? They suddenly are getting all these questions from people with good intentions, and that brings up doubt. The fact that you feel like you're needed for 357 other things, people, tasks that all of a sudden seem way more important than that powerful, intuitive yes that you got. Your logical brain now finds your intuitive, heartfelt yes as suddenly seeming very silly and impractical. So that big, brave, soulful yes that you felt, it suddenly starts to fade. And you realize like it's not going to be honored yet again. You're not going to get what you truly desire yet again. And so that voice that was so powerful, that was so clear, that felt full body you shrinks back into the dark, right? It goes back to the corners where it's been hibernating for who knows how long. Many of the people we work with have been like, I've been thinking about my book for years and years and years. And all of a sudden you hear something like, it's okay, that's fine. And you try to convince yourself, it'll be your time one day, maybe you think. And I just have no more what's to give for that. Why can't we trust ourselves? And particularly, why can't we trust women to invest in their stories, invest in their experiences, to honor a yes when it shows up? And I do mean it in relationship to the work that we do and people putting their messages out in the world in words, but I also just mean it in a very broad sense. People are literally waiting, praying, hoping you, and wherever you come from and whatever your experiences are, particularly if it's from a marginalized community, your voice, your experiences matter now more than ever, and people need to hear them. So when you are feeling that tug, what might it feel like to trust yourself, to trust your yes? Even more so when you're feeling and you're hearing someone talk about this powerful yes that they are experiencing, how can you simply be there to hold space for them versus questioning them, versus making them doubt themselves, versus bringing in a, but what about, right? Or suddenly having all these things that you need that are going to come before what this person, this beautiful person who's finally saying yes to themselves, is asking for support around. People need to hear from you. What if you trusted you and invested your time, your energy, and yes, your resources accordingly? As you can tell, the compassion and anger was pretty strong around this topic, but I think it's really important. And I think we don't have enough conversations around this mistrust that we have, particularly around people who are not always in the privileged communities, whatever that might mean for you. And so I just get curious around trusting yourself, asking others for support versus permission, and being really, really, really committed to sharing your story in the beautiful, authentic ways that you know you can. So this was something, it was kind of a quick and dirty message that I really wanted to get out, but I've been having lots of conversations with people around it. Some of my other clients were like, I saw your post. Oh my goodness, here's how I've been talking about it. Someone else shared, people have been sharing other posts that have a similarity. But this idea of trust, I'm just getting curious, and I invite you to maybe even do a little bit of writing about it just to see what shows up. and just get really curious about how you may or may not be trusting yourself. How are other people supporting these decisions that you're making, particularly when it comes to being seen, sharing your story, sharing your experiences? It's important, it's powerful, and we really need to stop silencing ourselves. So, thank you for joining me in my compassionate anger today. And I cannot wait to continue this conversation. So, as always, make sure you respond. Tell me what this brings up for you, what shows up. If you do a little bit of writing about it, I'd love to hear about that as well. And today I want to give another shout out. Speaking of women, I am always looking to get connected to and support other women who are doing amazing things. And I want to tell you about Dr. Heather Bartos. Dr. Heather and I recently got connected because, as many of you in my audience are, you're like me, you're a woman of a certain age, and things, they are a-changing. And I got connected to Dr. Heather because she has a true calling for advocating for women's health. She understands that health is an intricate tapestry of emotional, mental, and spiritual threads, and not just physical ones. And she has become hell-bent on honoring all of it. Not only is she an MD and had tons of experience, particularly focusing on women's gynecological health and beyond, but she's also a Reiki master. She's an energy healer. So she combines all of those beautiful things and is offering this amazing community called Menopause Rocks. It is the place where you want to go to be heard, believed, seen. Are you sensing a pattern here today? And I'm so excited that she and I have partnered together. I'm going to make sure in the show notes today you have the link. She is creating a community, a membership area where you can get your questions answered, where you can share some of your health information and be able to receive real live support and answers and suggestions, and be in a community of other women who are on that same journey. She honestly believes that this time in our life should be the best time, not our decline. And so that is why she is all about women's health and how menopause gets to rock. So if you're interested in that, be sure you head to the show notes and check out the link. We've got a beautiful affiliate situation set up, and I'm so excited to support people who are on this journey, because I think it's all connected. It's all a part about being ourselves and sharing ourselves and being okay with that and just trusting that. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Written Compass. If you are enjoying this content, do me a favor and go and review the podcast. This allows me to share and get these messages out to the people who really need them, who we want to read their books in the future. You can also go and share your thoughts and tag me at @ShaynaHartman_ on Instagram. Again, this is just a way for us to get connected and share the writing love. And if you know that you are ready to write your book, that message that's been burning inside of you for a long time, then I want to talk to you. My team and I want to talk to you. Head on over to ShaynaHartman.com and click Work with Us. From there, you'll see an application to explore and see if writing your book is your next best step.